Guys, I have some very exciting news for you today. Not only do we have leaked information on the next Second Awakened monsters, the leaked information is actually from Com2US directly, so we know that it is legit. We don't even have to question, is this legit information? It is directly from Com2US themselves. However, it is in the form of a teaser. You know they like actually doing this. So it's supposed to tease on what the new Second Awakened monsters are going to do. We have to guess who it's going to be. One of them is very obvious. The first one is very obvious. The second one could be one of two different units. But we have to kind of deduce from the pictures what we think they're actually going to be and what we think the Second Awakening is going to do for them. Very cool. So let's take a look at the first. I can't wait. I know you guys like, please, Michael, let's see the pictures. Damn it. Okay. So the first one, man, this looks very obvious to me. As far as like the unit that it is, it's a scythe. How many units in Summoner's War have a scythe? We knew it was going to be, we're like, this is definitely going to be the Grim Reapers. How could this not be the Grim Reapers? It's the death-themed dungeon. This is definitely going to be the Grim Reapers. And now there's a scythe. This is, again, this is a teaser from Com2US directly with a scythe on it. I think we can just officially say that we're getting Second Awakened Grim Reapers. Very, very exciting. We just spotlighted one a couple days ago. Very excited. We did so many videos theory crafting what the next Second Awakened monsters were going to be. So glad that we are on the right track so far. So this is like a little algorithm on trying to figure out the next Second Awakenings is Grim Reaper times Skull and Crossbones. Does that mean death? Does that mean, what does that mean? And then equals, and then it is an hourglass. So we're supposed to deduce. Like, Bagel, no, you're supposed to deduce, Bagel. We're just sit here and nod our heads like, yeah, Bagel, we're just waiting for you to figure it out. So it looks like, and what I've kind of speculated with these next Second Awakenings is, we do have a decent amount. Let me actually show you guys one of the things that I want to reference, wherever it is. We do have some of these artifacts. Some of these artifacts here. Attack bar when revived. We have attack bar when revived. We have HP when revived. We have things that happen when revived. And I'm like, we don't have that many units that have like self revives and things like that. Like we have some revives, but it's really not that relevant now. We have two things in the artifacts that are based on when monsters are revived. And I feel like things that happen on death and things that happen on revive, that makes a whole lot of sense for these next Second Awakened units. So I just want to reference that at first. I feel like, and again, this is just like, this part is just me speculating, is me trying to deduce what this actually is. It feels like Grim Reaper, the first one, Grim Reaper, when he dies, Grim Reaper on death equals, and then the little hourglass. So from what I feel, from what I would like to see, from what I think would be cool, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's completely wrong. It feels like it would be very cool where one of the Grim Reapers, a couple of the Grim Reapers have a skill where when they die, they put like a curse on the enemy, and when the little hourglass thing, right? When the hourglass runs out, the enemy dies. Just like straight out dies. I feel like that would be a very, very cool skill. It makes a lot of sense with the picture we have here, and it also makes sense with the Grim Reaper theme. If the Grim Reaper gets killed, he dies, he puts like maybe an uncleansable curse on the enemy that you can't remove with anything, and like after that enemy gets a certain amount of turns, it just dies. I think that would be a very, very cool skill. We'll see how close we are to actually having that be what it actually is, but I just feel like that's what this says to me. I'm thinking about other things that it could be. I mean, like you could theory craft like damage over time because it's an hourglass, but they already do damage over time. They already do damage, infinite damage over time, which we kind of see with the Predator. But I don't know. I'm just getting that vibe that it's like when the Grim Reaper dies, he puts a hex on someone, and then if a certain amount of time passes, a certain amount of turns pass on that unit or other units. Again, this is just me speculating what I think the skills may be, what I think that Second Awakening stuff may be. That's what this picture inspires me to think, right? So anyway, that is for the first one. The second one is on the next Second Awakened unit, which well, that was kind of the curious one, like who is it going to be? However, the picture for it leads us down one of two different choices. So this is, I know, as soon as you see it, right? Maybe a lot of you are like, oh, that's the Mystic Witch. We're getting a Mystic Witch second way. Wait a second. Because that was my first thought as well. I was like, oh, we're getting a Mystic Witch. I was kind of thrown for a loop on that one because the Mystic Witches have that buckle hat, right? So if we go take a look here, we see the Mystic Witch with the buckle. No, wait a second. She's got a pumpkin hat. She doesn't have a buckle hat. She's got a similar hat. It's a floppy wizard hat, but it's let's take a look here. None of them have those buckles, those specific buckles on the hats. None of these Mystic Witches. Yeah, I could just do that. I don't have to turn one off and the other one. But we have this floppy hat, which at first I thought was a Mystic Witch. However, I think it's entirely possible that it is just what the Second Awakened version of this may look like. They don't have a buckle. They don't have quite the same hat, but they do have a floppy wizard hat, and they are a ghost. And we've theory-crafted kind of that this may be the next Second Awakened units. And when we see this hat, I mean, it does look a little bit more like the Mystic Witch hat, but when they're Second Awakened, they look different anyway. So this could just be what the Second Awakened hat of the Howls looks like. So what this says to me, which I'm thinking, which could be cool, we see a little floppy hat, right? We see like, okay, let's theory craft, like, I mean, if it's the Mystic Witches, so many people that don't have Bastet are gonna be like so excited right now. They're gonna be like, yeah, please, Mystic Witch, I use Bastet for my attack power buffer, please, for arena offense, and RTA cleaves, please let it be Megan, right? I still feel like it's a little bit more on the side of Howls, even though the hat looks a little bit more like Megan. I still feel like, I just get that feeling that it's just like, that's how the Howl hat would look after its Second Awakening, because you know everything looks a little bit more epic, right? So the Howl hat right now is a little cutesies. However, after Second Awakening, it's gonna look different. The bears look different, the Inugamis look different, everything looks different after a Second Awakening, right? So that hat could definitely look much more serious and hardcore. I mean, serious esports hat, guys. So I think for what this says would be very interesting, and I would like to see here, is Howl on death when the Howl dies. I mean, again, I'm taking some liberties in thinking that this skull and crossbones means when it dies, because again, the whole dimension is death themed. So I'm thinking when it dies equals 3 of something. What three of what? Does it equal 3? It comes back to life with 3 of itself? Or probably not. I mean, you're not gonna have extras. They're not gonna make extra spots in the lineup. Like that's the first thing that came to my mind. Like that doesn't make any sense. But then I was thinking, like, what do the Howls do, right? So I was thinking for example, what if they give, like, when they die, and again, I'm guesstimating that these are, where is these Howls, man? Guesstimating that these Howls are, well, these are going to be the Howls or whatever. But I'm thinking, like, what do the Howls do? Three of something, right? So Howls, this one does immunity. So what if, and again, just, I'm going to say it's 9,000 times. 9,000 times. What if something like Lulu, when Lulu dies, it gives your whole team 3, like a cleanse and 3 turns of immunity, or just 3 turns of immunity, right? Or like each one of them does like 3 turns of respective something. Again, I mean, I'm just going by literally the thing that we see here. It looks like when the unit dies, it could be Howls, could be Mystic Witches, when the unit dies, 3 of something happens. So I'm thinking like maybe 3 of, maybe 3 turns of some kind of buff, like based on the Howl, maybe it gives your team 3 turns of one buff or another buff, right? 3 turns of defense buff, 3 turns of immunity, 3 turns of attack power buff. Just food for thought, just things that I'm thinking of, thinking out loud, like what this says to me. I mean, there could be so many different ways that it could be interpreted. 3 is very vague. You can't really tell too much. 3, well, I don't know. Is it, did they come back to life 3 more times? Is that like, I don't know. Like, do they do a 3-turn bomb on the enemy? Like, there's so many different things that 3, 3 is just the number 3. It doesn't really tell us too much. The hourglass tells us a little bit more. Hourglass kind of says the story, right? Hourglass is much more specific than just the number 3. But anyway, that's what I'm getting from these different Second Awaken teasers. What are you guys getting? Leave it in the comments below. If you guys like comments that you see, then you can click the like button, obviously. And then this way, it'll float up to the top of the list. More people will see it. And if it's really good ideas, really good, I was going to say suggestions, but if it's really good ideas, if it's really good, if it's really good ideas, then more people will be able to see it. But that's just what these say to me, right? So anyway, that's for this one. Let me know what you think that it says to you. Let me know what you think that these are going to be. Do you think they're going to be hells, or you think they're going to be mystic witches? And again, that's it for this one. Just wanted to get this video out and have a little discussion about it. I'm very excited. Hope you guys are too. I've just been waiting for something fun in the game. Like, I was like, we did SWC, great. What's next? What's fun units to play with? Anyway, that's for this one. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you as always in the next one.